We are at almost 15 minutes past the 8 o'clock hour, moving right along into our final hour. I have the esteemed pleasure of welcoming Randy Holhut of the Commons on the phone. Good morning, Randy. How are you?
Good morning, esteemed.
That's right.
Good morning, everyone. Hi, Joyce.
Hi, Joyce. You know what I was thinking? God forbid you don't say hi, Joyce. There's going to be all kinds of...
become a trademark. I've been doing that an awful long time.
Well,
and,
but God forbid one morning you forget. And then it's going to be like, why didn't he say hi, Joyce? What's going on between Randy and Joyce? So you just better always say it in case you want to get the tongues wagging here in town.
Yes.
So let's get it started, shall we?
Yes.
All right. Where would you like to start, Randy? What do you think?
Well, I think probably the big story in the center with my photo above the fold and Joyce's story below the fold about somebody who's really esteemed more than me, Dr. Robert Backus, who's been up in the Great West River Valley practicing medicine for nearly 4 decades, and finally, for real this time, because he's already had a couple of false alarms, wants to retire. And
this time he means it.
Next month.
This time he means it.
Yes. But he's kind of the last of the old line doctors. He was still making house calls.
Right.
He's there early in the morning. He's there in the evening, seeing patients. He's really diligent about taking care of the people he's needs to take care of, and he's a very harsh critic of the current medical system, which he has tried to reform on several occasions.
So do you think that's part of the reason why he's retiring?
Well, he's 75 too. That has something to do with it.
That does, yep.
And he wants to, be able to enjoy some time away from the medical grind, because he admits he's spent an awful lot of time in his profession. Right.
So time to start the new chapter of his life, as it were. But yeah, somebody who really went above and beyond. Joyce really kind of outlined and highlighted some really beautiful stories in here. People's first hand accounts of their experience with him.
Yes, it's a bedside manner you really don't see anymore, because, of course, today's doctors don't even have time to build personal relationships with their patients to that extent, because, it's in, out, in, out, in, out. You got a certain number of patients you got to see in an hour, or else the insurance company gets on your back, and
right.
And it's just the common sense part of medicine too. That there's the people in the profession call it defensive medicine, where you're having to do all these extra tests to not so much to diagnose something, but to prevent you from getting sued.
Right.
But you get sued anyways.
That's right. So there's all kinds of red tape and bureaucracy now that prevents that kind of person-to-person experience between doctor and patient, wouldn't you say?
Well, he talked about, it wasn't that many years ago that it used to be there were clipboards at the end of your bed, and there were 3 cards on it, one with the condition, one with the nursing orders, and one with the medications.
Right. That's right.
And now it's all this paperwork you have to fill out for Medicare, all these things you have to fill out for the insurance company or whomever else. Lots of people looking over your shoulder. Mm-hmm. And certain amount of oversight is good, but then there's a point where it just kind of gets in the way. And considering I've had a couple of trips to the hospital in the past year,
I remember
it can get kind of the amount of testing, of bureaucracy, of everything but care can get pretty frustrating at times.
Right. Yeah.
That's a good hospital.
That's
like
right.
Hitchcock.
Exactly. So, do we know when his last day is?
March 9th.
March 9th. So really coming up. He's not even going to make it to the end of the year. He's just going to take off now.
He wants no parties, no parades. He wants a nice, quiet exit, take out his staff and his wife to dinner and disappear for a month.
Yeah. So, right. I see that March 9th. Yeah. So he's just going to quietly kind of fade into the sunset, as it were.
He's earned it.
For sure. 40 years.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, right below that, I guess we'll just move on to the story right below that, of course, is the 95th year of the Harris Hill ski jump.
Yes, people flying through the air. And they land, too.
Yeah. Well, one would hope. The alternative is not a pretty one. I had Liz Richards in the studio yesterday. I talked with her. Of course, she's the co-chair of the event. There's a young man who may make history on Sunday. He'll retire the title I guess he's going to win it for the third time. So that's
Chris
pretty
Lamb
exciting.
Has been trying some for the last few years. He's got 2 wins under his belt. He's got the Hill record under his belt.
Yep.
But now he has to drive. He hasn't been able to break through because the Slovenians keep coming in every year and sweeping the competition. They've done that the last couple of years, which is a testament to the reputation of Harris Hill internationally. That jumpers love coming to Brattleboro because it's a great hill.
Yep.
And the crowds are enthusiastic, and it's a nice mellow vibe and a good time.
That's right. It's a good time. It's a good jump, and I think that everybody really enjoys themselves. Of course, I have to keep reminding folks, and I of course, Chris reminded me to remind folks that our own Samira Evans, or Chris's own Samira Evans, I should say, will be singing at the opening ceremonies tomorrow morning. It starts at noon.
Yeah, so she'll sing the national anthem, and they'll throw out the first ski.
Yep, there you go. So 95 years,
and much of that success is due to the volunteers that have kept the hill open, and actually the effort that kept the hill from being closed. Because by a decade ago, the hill was in really rough shape and had to be closed down because it just didn't meet current standards for competition, and it was just not really safe to go down in spots.
Right.
And the fundraising that took place, about $600,000 that was raised from the community to keep that hill open, bring it up to standards, and now it's one of only 2 hills in the Northeast that are certified for international competition. The other one's in Lake Placid.
Right. So the donation of the time by the community and the finances allowed it to reopen. I mean, that would have been a situation where they may have jumped and not have landed. So we're happy that they did that, because it would be a very different experience for everyone.
Well, it also would be a very different February without it. I mean,
it's true.
It may not be as big as it was back in its heyday, when you'd have tens of thousands of people down watching the competition on Sunday, and you had Olympians. It was national championships settled at Harris Hill, but it's still a good competition with good jumpers, and some of them you might see on your television next year in Korea.
That's right.
For the Winter Games.
It's a great event, and Liz was saying, they're going to have a ton of food this year, really, like a lot more food vendors this year. I think the weather's looking like it's going to be pretty nice to be out there. It's not going to be so frigid. Last year I remember it was like, as I said, last year everybody went, and then after the weekend, everybody looked like they had been in the Caribbean over the weekend because it was so warm. I think it was like 65 or something and sunny.
It's going to be in the 40s on there, and that's be great for the spectators. Probably not so good for the jump, but
right,
they'll figure out a way.
Yep, they sure will. They always do. Just want to put it out there to the listeners, harrishillskijump.com, if you want to get tickets or more information.
Or go downtown. There's Zephyr's selling tickets, and a
Yeah.
couple of other locations and around downtown. Get them in advance and you save a little money.
That's right. You can find all those locations online, harrishillskijump.com. 21 minutes to 9 o'clock on this Friday morning and this frigid February Friday morning. On the phone with Randy Holhut of the Commons News, commonsnews.org. Also available on newsstands right now. Hello and welcome back, Randy.
Hello.
Thanks for joining me. The second part of the 8 o'clock hour and wrapping up the show with me. So, Vilas Bridge.
The bridge that can't be opened, won't be opened, probably may never be opened.
Aw, drama. So sad. Let's break it down for folks, shall we?
Well, it's a concrete bridge that connects Bellows Falls and Walpole, New Hampshire, or North Walpole, New Hampshire. And, of course, as you may know, New Hampshire owns the Connecticut River.
Yep.
That means they are responsible for maintaining all the bridges that cross the Connecticut River. And they're not particularly interested in renovating this bridge, even though it has some historic value to it. Their logic is there's a bridge a mile up the road, the New Arch Bridge that connects the North Walpole and Bellows Falls.
Right.
And there's another crossing of the Connecticut River by in Westminster, a few miles south of the bridge. So it's not really an important priority for them to fix the bridge, especially since they ought to fix the Hinsdale Bridge.
Right.
If you've ever been on that bridge, waiting for the light to change and feeling it shake.
It's a little sketchy.
Yes, it is. And we're still waiting for that bridge to be replaced.
Yeah.
It's been more than a decade there, too.
Right. I don't know if that's probably higher on the list, the Hinsdale Bridge, than the Vilas Bridge.
Not by much.
Not by much. Well,
but,
and people are still traveling on it, which makes it even more troubling.
Having that bridge closed, the only people are inconvenienced are the people who are looking for a shortcut into Bellows Falls.
Right.
So the business community in Bellows Falls has been agitating for this bridge to be reopened for some time.
Well, right.
But not so much that. And this Vermont wouldn't mind having the bridge open, but no one can agree on who's going to pay for the costs of fixing this bridge. So round and round it goes. This time the legislative delegation from the BF area is agitating one more time for getting the bridge reopened, and New Hampshire is saying, we'll think about it.
Yeah, the business owners in Bellows Falls say that with the bridge being open, it would help the economy there in downtown BF.
It might. I don't think a conclusive case has been made for that, but
I don't know that it's scientifically proven.
On the other bridge, the Arch Bridge, and
right.
Certainly.
Yep.
And it's now a four-way stop on the other end of the bridge on the Bellows Falls side, and there's a traffic light on the Walpole side, but it can back up at times, and that can be a problem with emergencies or anything like that.
Right. The transportation plan. The 10-year transportation plan that spans 2017 to 2026. So it's not looking good for the Vilas Bridge, because I don't even think is that what I read correctly? It doesn't even appear on that 10-year plan.
Again, it's not a priority item.
Not a priority.
As far as New Hampshire is concerned, there's a bridge connects the two towns. This bridge is not worth fixing, so it will sit there and probably for indefinitely because it's New Hampshire.
But explain to me, so a couple years back, VTrans and New Hampshire did start a discussion on it.
Yeah, and it bogged down over money because New Hampshire would have had to pay more of the cost. And, it's really, it's sticky about how bridges get taken care of because of the fact that New Hampshire has responsibility for the bridge crossings, but they don't like spending money on doing the work.
Right. And I guess that Vermont said that they would, if I read correctly, Vermont said that they would front the money, but then would be paid back by the state of New Hampshire. Is that right?
Yeah.
And what, $6 million or so? $6-7 million is the cost to repair the bridge?
Yes, and New Hampshire doesn't like spending money if they don't have to.
Right. Well, I can't disagree with New Hampshire there.
Yes.
So we'll see. I mean, we've got some local representatives who are talking about it and trying to make a resolution. Matt Trieber of Bellows Falls. Who else is on the Mike Markowitz of Putney supports the measure. So we'll just have to wait and see if it actually is going to come to fruition.
I think it's a safe bet it won't, but
Randy,
they'll try anyway.
Why so negative?
Because it's New Hampshire.
What about the glass half full?
It's New Hampshire.
I like to walk in the positive light. I'd like to see the bridge open, and I believe it will one day.
Well, maybe it's a pedestrian bridge, but I can't see it. Seeing cars cross it anytime soon. Moving on to
the bright side of life, little Monty Python reference there.
Well, I'm not dead yet.
We've got Spamelot.
Yes, we do. If you miss Spamelot up at Leland and Gray with the Leland and Gray players,
that's it.
You get another shot at it with the BUHS kids doing it, the music department, and Steve
Opened
Rice's
last night.
crack team,
right?
And Bob Kamansky and the rest of the folks.
Anthony Speranza, Mitch Davis. Yep.
Yeah, it's an all-star cast of leaders and an all-star cast of students involved in this. So, you're going to get a good show, guaranteed.
Yep, opened last night, and they've got a show this evening and tomorrow as well, tomorrow evening at 7 o'clock. This, as I read in the Commons, this is Rice's 29th year with the BUHS musical, as well as Speranza's 23rd affiliation with BUHS. So these are folks that are in it, have been in it for the long haul.
Well, that's a hallmark of Brattleboro Union High School. There's a lot of really good teachers who've landed in Brattleboro and stuck around, and the students who've gone through have reaped the fruit of that commitment of veteran teachers who love their work and have stuck around and passed on that. And that's why the drama and music departments at BUHS have been excellent over the years.
That's it. I mean, they can, there's the commitment of the staff, of the faculty there. And these kids want to bring it. So they're bringing it to BUHS, like I said, tonight and tomorrow. $10 for seats, Saturday and Sunday, 7 o'clock. You can get further information. Give them a call, 802-451-3407. So that's exciting. And a different sort of entertainment, of course. Let's talk hoops.
Yes, and will be a good game tonight with Brattleboro and Rutland hooking up at the BUHS gym at 7 tonight.
Right, that's going to be
a potential playoff preview. But was at the Mount Anthony game last Friday night, and
yep.
Usually those games get pretty intense, and this was kind of a more sedate Mount Anthony contest than past years. But that's because they're not a very good basketball team this year. And Brattleboro's looking pretty good. I think they got a chance to advance in the playoffs and contend for a potential championship.
That's exciting.
And almost as exciting was the Pink at the Rink.
Oh, the Pink at the Rink. Yeah, of course.
Girls hockey team. They raised $650 for the Brattleboro Memorial Hospital Comprehensive Breast Care Program.
Terrific.
So they've for the past few years the team has donated the proceeds from the game and had raffles and chuck-a-puck and a bake sale and other things, and it's been really good. And this is the money that helps with the incidentals that the insurance doesn't pay for if you're having to deal with cancer, like gas cards to get to and from the hospital or wigs.
Right.
Your health insurance doesn't cover the cost of a wig.
Right. Yeah, so, and for folks going through something like that, I mean, it's really it's difficult enough as it is, and then to have
no hair.
then to have your appearance affected can be really difficult. So, these girls are doing a great thing. I remember you and I talking about this last year, actually. Yeah, so they raised $650 for the cause. Awesome, way to go, girls. Anything else coming down the pike that you want to let us know about?
Well, yesterday was a really up at Vabec behind the high school for a cross-country ski race that was interesting and won by the Brattleboro teams. And I'll be going up there in another hour for a listening tour that the new Secretary of Agriculture, Anson Tebbets, is holding. We got some other things happening around, but you'll have to buy. You can't buy a Commons. It's free.
No, pick up the Commons, though.
But of course, if you want it to your door, we can do that. if you become a member of Vermont Independent Media, and we can mail it right to your door, you can look up all the information you need to do there at donate.commonsnews.org. If you don't want to leave your nice warm house to go look for a Commons, you can have the post person bring it to you.
There you go, or check it out online, commonsnews.org. Randy, thank you so much. If you're going to get out there today, be sure to bundle up. It's chilly out.
Well, today it is. Tomorrow will be in the 40s. It'll be nice.
That's what I hear. Well, have a great weekend.
You too.
And I'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
We're going to come back to wrap up this Friday morning's edition of Green Mountain Mornings right here.
It is